everyone, and welcome to today's episode of PianoTV. I'm Allysia, your host, and today's episode is going to be a little bit different from our normal ones. I'm going to be sitting down and talking to you again, because I feel like I've been doing that a lot lately. But I'll talk about why it's a little different. But I really wanted to address the issue of having fun with your piano practice, and just like the piano and learning an instrument in general. When you're a piano teacher, one of the big struggles is having students who just aren't into it. They struggle. Like, it doesn't really seem to matter what assignments you throw at them. There's just like a disconnect, a lack of motivation, a lack of interest, even with students who initially are really fired up and motivated. I find that my adult students tend to hit a slump usually like 6 months in. They'll be really gung-ho, they'll work hard, they'll get through like some of the kid music where you're starting to get your hands coordinated, and then they just kind of like burn out a little bit and maybe lose that initial fire that got them started in the first place. And I've researched, I've talked to people, I've done a lot of things to try to figure out like how to re-energize people. And I think part of our jobs as piano teachers is to provide continuous inspiration regardless of what's going on with the student. So new ideas, new music, new things to try, just because that's like, it's the ideas that tend to pick people out of the slump. Anyway, that's what I found. But I wanted to talk about maybe how we could have more fun with music. And an important caveat too is that learning an instrument is hard, but it can also be fun. It has to be both. If it's hard, but it's not fun, then it's just going to be a total grind and it's unsustainable. But if it's fun and it's not challenging at all, then you're not going to grow and develop. You'll just kind of stagnate at maybe a beginner level or something like that. So it needs to be both. And I think some people, when they're starting, have a difficult time embracing the fact that it's so challenging to learn an instrument. It's, we get into that negative headspace where we start thinking we suck, we're terrible, we're no good. And it's important to not think about that so much. I'm kind of losing my train of thought because I want to just back up for a second and say that I don't have all the answers for this topic. So what I decided to do is meet a whole bunch of really awesome YouTubers and bloggers in the piano sphere and ask them these questions. And some of them, like Joseph Hoffman, has a lot of good advice for making piano lessons engaging, because that's what he's all about as a piano teacher. And other musicians I talked to, like Gerald Simon from Music Motivation, he's just like, as a human being, you can't have a conversation with him and not get fired up and not be motivated. So he's a great person to talk to about that. Then we have people like Amy Nolte, who just is so creative with what she does and how she teaches that the way she teaches in her videos, like I kind of binge watch them because the way she approaches music and teaching it is something that I've never thought about, both as a student and as a teacher. So I think it ended up being 22 different people. And some of these people, actually, I would assume most of these people, if you're like savvy with YouTube and the internet, you've heard of. And I'm going to be sharing more details about that in a moment. But some of them might be new to you as well, just performers and lecturers and researchers and academics in various parts of the world. Because I wanted to get a really balanced approach on just like new ideas and new ways to have fun at the piano. So with all of that said, let's get started. So adults seem to just like love drills and get really obsessed with exercises. And a lot of people I talk to are like, well, I practice scales for 30 minutes a day, or, things like this, or I just spend like 3/4 of my practice time working through Hanon. And I think it's really important that exercises are just like one minor component. If you overdo them, so the thing is, exercises can be really immediately rewarding because they're easy to learn and you can do them right away. Learning a piece of music is so much more complex. And because of that, maybe there's like a little bit of nervousness to approach them. But technique is approachable because it's so simple to digest. But the problem with technique is it's not going to challenge you musically. So what I want to recommend to everyone off the bat, and this is something that people were talking about as well, is back off of that technique a little bit. It's still important to do, but it should only be like one of many components of your piano practice. And if you're just obsessively fixating on technique, that's when it's really just more of the grind. It's like the difference between, I don't know, jogging is kind of a grind. It's like jogging on the treadmill. The only way you can make it enjoyable is to like turn on the TV or something like that. But playing a sport, like going out with your friend and playing tennis, like that's super fun. So diversify your piano experience so that it's not just like pure technique all the time. That'll go a long way to making it more fun, even if it's more challenging. Another thing is to balance those technical drills with more creative activities at the piano. Things like improvisation and even composing, stuff like that, that just makes you think in a completely different way. It's not all about just like learning music and doing like the very, I know it's like technically not correct to say like the left-brained approach, but hopefully if I use that as a comparison, you guys know what I'm talking about. If we take like a really left-brained approach, that's just like one small facet of music. So I talk to people who share ideas on how to make sight reading like more easy and stuff like that, and that's a really important part of things. But equally important is developing your ear and developing your ability to improvise and learn fun genres like the blues. Like we have a lot of there was a lot of people I talked to who just are really enthusiastic about jazz and blues, and it's not something I've grown up studying, so I haven't learned a lot about blues, and this was all kind of new to me, but it's super, super fun, and it's not nearly as hard to get into as you might think. There's not really, I think there's a higher barrier to entry getting involved in classical music than there is getting involved in improv and blues. Another idea that was shared with me, I think this was by Sam, is that Sam Zarin of Social Media Music Theory and I think Disney Music Theory, he was talking about how just having input of new ideas helps keep your energy level high. So if you surround yourself with music, if you listen to podcasts and the people you follow on social media and stuff like that are all talking about music, then you're kind of like always exposed to these motivated people, and it just kind of brings you into that world. So it's not like your time at the piano is just like you at the piano in a corner for some set block of time in your day, and that's it. There's no other like musical study in your entire day. Integrating it into your life is a way to really not only make it more fun, because that's a key component, but also help you learn faster and help you learn better. And along that line is the idea that we can build a community around learning music. And this is another thing when we're sitting off in a corner by ourselves at the piano, we don't tend to do, because it's just naturally a solitary activity. It's not like if you're a clarinet player, you might practice by yourself, but you're probably not complete on your own necessarily. So you would be more likely to join, I don't know, like a mini orchestra or things like that, just to kind of complete it. But piano is kind of a complete instrument with like on its own, so we tend to be really solitary. But Frances Wilson is one person I was talking to about getting outside of that and meeting people, getting out into the world, making piano a social activity, and that is huge for being motivated. If you're meeting with people on a monthly basis, then you have to practice. You have to keep up. You can't just drop off the bandwagon, because there's people who are into it, who count on you, who you kind of have that like rapport with. So that's another thing that seems really big for having fun, staying motivated. And this is the big thing. So talking to people with such a diverse palette of skills, some people who are more on like the academic classical side, and some people who are more on like the pure improv jazz side, it kind of occurred to me that one of the best things we can do to enjoy our practice is to just break out of our ruts, do something different. If we're always having the exact same practice session in the exact same order, learning the exact same type of music, then it's those fresh experiences that give us memories. If you're doing the same thing every day, you're not creating memories every day. It's it's the novel that give us memories and make things seem more fun. Again, it seems more challenging if you're used to playing in a certain way, and then you break the mold and do something totally different. It seems like it's a lot harder, and it is. There's a little bit more investment to learn new things, but it's so rewarding and it's fun once you do it. And even if you're, your first attempt at improvisation, even if it's terrible, it'll still be great because you're still learning so much. So breaking out of a practice rut is key. And this seems like such an obvious point, but think about the music that you love. And that's what you should be practicing. Maybe not exclusively. Like, we all need our musical broccoli, and even that could still be fun. But what do you love? Like, what kind of music do you love? Like, it doesn't matter. Don't be embarrassed. Like, if you're really into, I don't know what, like, an embarrassing genre of music is. Like, if you're really into, I don't even want to say anything because I don't want to make people feel bad, but, like, whatever it is that you're interested in, learn it. There's probably, like, YouTube videos and some of the people that I've already mentioned doing tutorials and stuff like that on all these different styles. So don't feel like you have to fit a certain mold. There's all kinds of different piano teachers who, people like Lee Levis, who will help you with more of like the creative style stuff. And you have teachers like Josh Wright, who are really into like the higher level classical stuff, and just like a whole range of teachers in between who will help you with whatever unique path you want to take. So play the music that you love seems like such an obvious thing to say, but so many people don't do it. So I've been mentioning all these people I've talked to, and let me just say, it's been so cool to meet people that I've kind of just like, I don't know, admired from afar. So I've been on the online space for about 5 years, and some of these people have been doing the online piano thing for like twice as long as me, maybe more. So I've known about them for a really long time. So it was so cool to meet people who I'd been reading their works or watching their videos for like 10 years. So really feeling lucky. But what this is all leading up to is I've created a free online piano convention. And what I've done is I've brought, I think there are a total of 23 sessions, including one for me. And it's some of the people I've mentioned, plus many more, who all are speaking on a variety of topics. So chords, improv, pop, we have some tutorials, we have lessons on technique, we have sight reading, and then there's one I'm forgetting about. Why is it not coming to me? Anyway, we have all these different topics and all these wonderful people who are giving you their best advice in these topics. And ultimately, the overarching theme of the entire convention is how to enjoy your time at the piano. Whether it's how to like actually literally enjoy your time at the piano, or fun things that you can do to learn piano, whether it be, you know, fun tutorials you can try, fun ear developing exercises you can try, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really balanced palette of ideas to give you inspiration, activities that you can apply right away. And this convention is for especially people who are kind of in that beginner to intermediate range. So people who have been playing for anywhere from like 0 to 4 years, I would say, even more. But a lot of the tutorials and stuff are geared for those earlier level students. So that is worth mentioning. But it is a free convention to attend, and the convention goes live to the general public. I guess you guys, it goes live for you guys on June 26th, which is a Wednesday, and it runs through Sunday, June 30th. So mark your calendar. It's going to be really awesome. Now, there is an opportunity for those of you who don't want to wait, or you want to have access to the convention forever. There is an option for you guys to upgrade to the All Access Pass. So if you want to start watching that stuff right away, you can do that. And I'm going to leave you all the links below just so you can, get acquainted with everything and check it out. And you can see all of the speakers, and you can look through and see everything we're talking about. We have like the schedule already up, so you can see what times things are going up. So the way this works is kind of like a real convention. If you were to go to a live convention in person, you would watch a session and whatever, and then it would just be gone, right? You'd see it, but then you wouldn't have a recording to keep with you. So that's kind of the same idea. You can watch each session, because I know we're busy people, so I don't want to like only have it up for the hour duration that it is and then have it disappear. So you'll have a full 48 hours within with every session to watch it. So if you're watching if you're watching Josh Wright on Friday, I think, then you have until Sunday if you can't quite get to a session. So all of the sessions, you have 2 days, which is quite an ample amount of time, I think, to watch them. But if you don't have the time, or you don't want to like race through them all and you want to kind of keep them for future reference, we do have the All Access Pass upgrade option for you as well. I wanted it to be available to everyone, and that is how we're doing it. So definitely click the links below to find out more. I'm super excited about this. I've never put together a project like this before. I've told other people it's kind of like planning a wedding because which I did 2 years ago. So there's a lot of like moving parts and like messaging and back and forth and all that stuff. But the best part about it, like I said, has been meeting my heroes and having my heroes be nice enough to take the time to chat with me. So please check it out. I'm really, really excited about it. It's the coolest thing I've ever done. Which, that sounds like kind of a braggy thing to say a little bit. But it is really cool. And I don't think I've done anything like quite this cool. It was super out of my comfort zone to put this together. So yeah, really excited about it though. Definitely check out the schedule and all the information, which we'll have linked below. I'm really excited about it. You are going to hear more about this in the next couple weeks because I have a lot of hype. So stay tuned. Talk to you later, guys. Bye. Okay, so why... Oh, I already kind of talked about that. I don't know why I just said let's get started. We've already started.